For the past 2 weeks, I've been testing the brand new Galaxy Buds 3 FE, which look and feel almost identical to the premium Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, but cost $100 less. And these could pretty easily become my most recommended earbuds of the year, but at launch, these didn't seem to get much attention at all. So now that it's been 2 weeks, how good are they? I want to get away from the spec sheets and talk about the problems and the best features I found after 2 weeks of daily using these. So these, like I said, are the Galaxy Buds 3 FE, not to be confused with the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, or FE. These kind of fit in the lineup as the second cheapest option. And I'll make a comparison of the entire lineup in the future. If you want to see that, be sure to get subscribed. But these, like I said, $149, and I think right now they're having like a $10 guaranteed trade-in. Like you find any old wired earbuds and send them in, you get $10 off. So these are really $140 earbuds. Looking at the design, I actually really like the color of these. So there's two different colors. There's a matte gray and a matte black. It just looks matte. It doesn't have that soft touch feel like really matte, but again, not a lot of reflections, kind of really subdued. I think it looks cool. I kind of wish the Pros looked like this as well, but when you open it up, you'll see, of course, we've got the clear lid on the top, or kind of like a tinted lid on the top, and the earbuds themselves look identical to the Pros. Some people like that, some people dislike that. One main difference is going to be that these do not have the light bar. They just have a black line, which again, I actually kind of like. Like the light bar is cool, kind of like a cyberpunk look on the Pros, like the silver ones, but I mean, not having it is just less on my ears. That was one of my complaints with the originals, and I know you could turn that off, but again, that's not a bad thing that these don't have that in my opinion. Again, going back to people liking or disliking this design, the benefit of having the stem is that one, it's easier to put in your ears by kind of pinching on the bottom. You can adjust it without touching the controls by accident. And the microphone being down here obviously gives us a significant advantage in the microphone performance, which I'll show you in a test in just a minute. The controls are very similar to the Pros. Again, you have really nice, smooth controls. They take a second to get used to. The first time I tried on the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, I kind of was pinching on the wrong side, but once you get used to it, it's such a natural, intuitive place to pinch. And there's also swipe controls as well for controlling the volume. The case does not have wireless charging, but it does have USB Type-C on the bottom, and the case can sit upright or lie flat. It's a compact case. I actually really like the design of this case, and I'm happy that Samsung's basically giving us the same earbuds as the Pros, but just at a lower price point, $100 less, which I think a lot of people are really going to like. But we need to, of course, get into the differences between these. Like maybe you're saying, all right, these don't have wireless charging, but the Pros case does have wireless charging. Maybe these fit in the Pro case. And I've seen some other people, I saw Flossie Carter show that he could put the Pros, I think he put the Pros in the FE case, which does technically, like they fit, but they're not actually going to charge. If you look at the bottom of the case, the little pogo pins on the bottom that actually charge it are oriented differently so that Samsung doesn't want you to take the Galaxy Buds FE and put them in the Pro case. Like they actually don't fit. The stem is too large on the FE to fit in the Pro case. Kind of a downside, but if you want wireless charging, you have to go with the Pros. The earbuds also have a slightly lower water resistance rating compared to the Pros, but it's IP54, so dust and water resistant. Pretty solid, should be good enough for pretty much any kind of sweating or light rain outside or anything like that. As far as the comfort and fit goes, we'll do a little shake test right now. Yeah, so these stay in my ears incredibly well, despite not having a wingtip. Just the plastic geometry on the inside of the earbud does kind of grab the top of your ear on the inside, and so it really stays in quite well. And unlike the AirPods Pro, which for me, the left one always works its way out, for some reason, these seem to stay in really quite well. And of course, if you wanted these to stay in even better, or if you wanted to improve the ANC, you could always get foam ear tips on these as well. There's a ton of them out there that are available for the Pros, and they should almost definitely be fitting perfectly on the FEs here. These also come with two different ear tip sizes, but they kind of skimped out on the box, so there is no cable in the box. I don't know if that really matters for a lot of people, but these don't have that. All right, so Section 1, design so far, these get 2 thumbs up for me. I actually really, really like this design. I know a lot of people are anti-stem, but there's so many benefits to it. Personally, I'm a huge fan of this design. Next up, we have the sound quality. Now, of everything I'm going to talk about in this video, there's a lot of things that these absolutely crush it with and are really kind of toe-to-toe with flagship earbuds. Sound quality, for me, is just not quite one of them. I thought this was a little bit underwhelming, honestly. These do have SBC, AAC, and SSC, which is Samsung Scalable Codec, a high-resolution codec if you have a Samsung phone, so you should get some high-res audio on these, but these have a single driver instead of the dual driver we saw on the Pros. That makes sense. We're trying to cut costs here. That's one of the things they eliminate. They also lack the 24-bit audio that the Pros have, And kind of that, along with just the way they tuned these, they feel like they lack some detail and instrument separation. Out of the box, they sound muddy to me. The acoustic guitar is somehow also thin and lacks warmth and fullness. And then the hi-hats are kind of splashy, uncontrolled, and a little bit in your face. So it's not, like, I don't want to over-exaggerate here. These are $150 earbuds. They don't really sound that bad, and many people might not even notice that, but it's definitely very, very V-shaped. Like, they really boosted the bass and they boosted the high ends, but not in a really well-managed, controlled way, in my opinion. So that's what the sound is like on these earbuds. I would like to see it a little bit better, and I think there are other earbuds at this price that, if you're looking for sound quality, are definitely going to beat these out. As far as the active noise cancellation goes, these actually do a pretty decent job. They definitely carry their own. They're adjustable in the app. Well, not really the app. On a Samsung phone, as you can see right here, you don't have an app anymore. You just go into your settings and you're able to adjust the earbuds there, which is kind of nice, actually. It's similar to what Apple did with the AirPods. They're adjustable in 5 different levels for the ANC, and I just leave it on max level. I do this test where I'll just play like the sound of a jet at a set distance away. I turn up that volume until the earbuds are no longer able to block it. And just comparing 3 earbuds right here, just for reference, these were blocking 49.7 decibels, so about 50 decibels on the Galaxy Buds 3 FE. Then we have the Pros blocking about 2.5 decibels more at 52.2 decibels. And then, for reference, the best in the industry, the Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra 2nd Gen earbuds, those were 56.5 decibels. So side by side with the Pros, the FEs really did quite an impressive job of blocking out a lot of sound. And actually, they had a huge advantage over the Pros that I actually like them better in terms of noise cancellation. And that advantage is in the quality of the ANC. So the Pros they have a lot of power, but they have so many artifacts and a lot of white noise, and it's kind of this chirpy, hissy sound going on, and the Buds 3 FE don't have that. Like, they're much, much cleaner in terms of the noise cancellation. The transparency is another surprisingly strong aspect of these earbuds. There's definitely a little bit of noise from the gain, but it's adjustable in 5 different levels. So if you don't have it on max level, maybe you have it on level 3 or level 4, it's actually incredibly natural sounding. So you can wear these and watch like TV, and it's easy to forget you even have the earbuds in because it does sound really, really good, especially for this price. The only way you'll really know you have these in, again, is from that subtle white noise that eventually you kind of stop hearing, but at least at first, it's definitely obvious there is some white noise there. So actually, like I said, pretty astounding, the transparency quality for this price range. Now, let's get into the microphone quality of these. All right, so this is an indoor microphone test with the Galaxy Buds 3 FE. I'll do a comparison against the Pros so you can see what these sound like, but they do lack a couple features we saw on the Pros, like SWB call capabilities, which is found on the Pros, and they lack the 360 audio recording, which is also found on the Pro. So let's try out the Pros right now. And now these are the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro. Again, we're indoors, so this should be fairly easy, but let's go outside and see how these both block out a lot of the ambient noise on a busy sidewalk. All right, so this is an outdoor test. Clearly a bit of traffic behind me. It's not really, it's a little breezy out here, but let me know how the microphones perform. And now the Pros, a little bit of traffic behind me, but let me know if these sound any different. Now, one of the biggest corners most brands cut for some reason on cheaper products is usually the features. Like, they hold out some features for the Pros, and so that's definitely the case here. Samsung held some back. So we've got some things that these have and some things these don't have. So things that these do have, they have Gemini voice wake up, so you can just use the earbuds, and similar to how in the past you'd use like, summon Siri or Google Assistant, now it's really Gemini focused on these. We also have auto switch within the ecosystem, so not true multi-point, but between Samsung devices, your Samsung laptop and your Samsung phone, it'll automatically switch. These do have Bluetooth 5.4, and you can listen to just one earbud if you wanted to. The battery life is 6 hours and 24 hours when you include the case, but some of the things that are missing compared to the Pros, these don't have Auracast, these don't have adaptive noise control, these do have autoplay and auto pause, these do have real-time translation and all of the other AI, Galaxy AI stuff on these. Honestly, I don't use like any of that, but it exists and these are capable of doing that. They also find my earbuds with SmartThings Find, but again, they don't have the ultra-wideband finding for precision locating. But one thing that's interesting is if you go on Samsung's website, and you might be commenting right now, I'm sure some people have done that and said, Mike, they don't have swipe controls or pinch controls or autoplay pause. Yeah, for some reason, Samsung's website, especially when you compare the Pros and the FEs side by side, it says that they don't have those things. But yes, these do have swipe controls, these do have pinch controls, and these do have autoplay and auto pause. I tested that, and it definitely does work. But those are my thoughts on the Galaxy Buds 3 FE. Overall, a really solid pair of earbuds. Like I said, could be one of my most recommendable pair of earbuds, but the sound quality for me just isn't quite where I want it to be. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And again, get subscribed if you want to see that comparison between the Buds 3 FE and the rest of the Galaxy Buds lineup.